Hi again, it's Mrs. Angie. I am going to be reading the next stories for our second meeting for this book. We're going to be doing pages 29 through 35 and also 41 through 47. We're also doing page 27 as a little extra, which is learning about sea turtles, and then page 38, a love of horses, because I know that the girls will enjoy this as well. So, starting on page 27, learning about sea turtles. Melissa O'Connor loves to learn about animals. When she was young, she read about animals and watched animals. She even watched squirrels chasing one another in her backyard. Now Melissa watches sea turtles. She has traveled to Mexico and other countries to learn more about them. Sea turtles live in the ocean, but they build their nests on land. Melissa knows that caring for sea turtles means making sure they have a safe, clean place to build their nests. And she knows that can begin in her own backyard. It's important to keep the oceans, seas, and our land litter free, Melissa says. Okay. Now, Zinni's story, Bienvenido a Mexico. Mexico? Welcome to Mexico. Zinni the Zinnia opened her photo album. It was filled with pictures of her visit with her family in Mexico. The flower friends loved seeing pictures of Zinni's colorful cousins. They were lavender, pink, purple, rose, and even yellow. All beautiful colors, Zinni said proudly. Colors is the Spanish word for colors. Mrs. Angie doesn't know Spanish, unfortunately, so I don't really know how to say colors in Spanish. So sorry about that. Oh, let me get the picture. All right. Zinni turned the page. The flower friends squealed with delight. A tall brown horse gazed out with gentle eyes. The horse reminded Zinni of an adventure at her cousin's farm in Mexico. Each morning at the farm, Zinni and her cousins woke up to the loud cock-a-doodle-doo of a rooster. The rooster was better than an alarm clock. A rooster, now that's something we don't hear in our garden, Vi said. Each morning in Mexico, Zinni went into the barn and brushed the horse's silky coat. Then she fed them oats and apples. One day, a strong wind blew open the barn doors and blew the oats right out of Zinni's pail. As Zinni swept them up, she heard a little peep coming from one corner. There she saw a fuzzy baby chick. Zinni bent to pick it up. I had to be very gentle, Zinni said. The chick had just hatched from its egg. The flower friends could almost feel the soft fuzz of the little chick. So if you hadn't been feeding that horse, the wind hadn't blown the oats from your pail, you might not have seen the chick at all, Tula said. That's right, Zinni said, and that's the horse right there in my photo album. She's the reason I was in the barn in the first place. She pointed to the picture of the horse with the gentle eyes. Well, pictures really do tell stories, Tula said with a smile. Zinni turned the page again, and the flower friends' eyes grew wide. They had never seen some of these critters before. What is that animal that looks like a little horse? Vi asked. It's cute. Zinni explained that it was a burro. The burro carried hay to the barn in a wagon. It also carried the tasty fruits and vegetables that were grown on the farm. We ate lots of those vegetables with my aunt's delicious quesadillas, said Zinni. We ate peppers, avocados, and beans too. Those foods are really good and good for you. I guess you could say the burro helped everyone stay healthy, said Mary. Zinni closed her photo album. There's just one problem, she said. What's that? Asked Vi. These pictures remind me of all the fun I had in Mexico, but they also remind me that I really miss my family, said Zinni. I have an idea, said Gloria. My family just sent me a postcard from Japan. Postcards are a nice way to keep in touch. Why don't you mail a postcard to your family in Mexico? Then maybe they'll send a postcard back to you. That's a good idea, said Zinni. I love getting mail. I bet they do too. Let's all get together and make our picture for the postcard. Cheery up, cheerio, sang Robin the Red Robin. I will take the picture for you, Zinni. Now smile, everyone, and say cheese. No, say queso, Mary shouted. And then all the flowers laughed. Ooh. The end of that story. And then, okay, here's another extra one on page 38. A love of horses. Deborah Butterfield loves horses. She shares her love of horses by making sculptures of them. Some of Deborah's horse sculptures are bigger than real horses. She makes them from things she finds lying around, like metal that people throw away or wood on the beach. Some of Deborah's horses stand quietly. Others look like they are resting. Some even look like they are eating. Deborah hopes her horses will make you think about ways to care for animals. Animals, she says, can teach us to be quiet, to listen, and to watch, to understand the needs of others. They can show us how to be happy for the smallest things. I'm just going to show you this page. Oops. And see her sculpture there? All right. So the final story for today, Gloria's story, Dancing Through Japan. Gloria, the morning glory, took a deep breath. Welcome to Japan, she said as she bowed to her flower friends. Gloria pressed her petals together and jumped high in the air. She was pretending to dive into a pond. She wiggled through the water just like a fish. Next, Gloria pretended she was a butterfly. She bent from side to side as if fluttering in a soft breeze. Then she stretched and reached out from flower to flower to tickle each one with her wings. Tula laughed. Gloria smiled but didn't say a word. She now pretended to be a turtle. She curled up on the ground and made herself as small as she could be, inch by inch. She poked out her face and peeked up at her friends. I forgot to show you the picture from the first page. You look just like a turtle, said Mary. I think you were showing us the animals you saw when you traveled to Japan. That's right, said Gloria. Then she bowed again. Next, she stretched up high and held her petals still. She was pretending to be a big, graceful bird called a Japanese crane. Gloria bowed once more. It was time to pretend to be one last animal. She spread her petals wide. She skipped and rolled and bounced along happily. Next, she sat on the ground and munched and munched. Then she munched some more. At last, Gloria yawned and stretched. She even rubbed her belly. Then she settled down for a nap. But Gloria wasn't finished. Suddenly, she jumped up and pretended she was carrying something very special. She handed that special something to her friend with a deep bow. What could it be? The flower friends thought and thought, but none could guess what Gloria was showing them. It's not an animal we ever see in our garden, Gloria said, but it's my favorite animal in the whole world. It's a giant panda. I thought you were carrying a gift, Fi said. The giant panda was a gift, said Gloria. It was a gift from the people of China to the people of Japan. Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Wow, shouted the flower friends. They had never seen a flower tell a story quite like that before. Gloria had told her story without words. Her story was like a dance. I'm so glad you like my story, Gloria said. I brought a gift from Japan for each of you. Gloria reached into her suitcase and pulled out some paper animals. She had a rooster, a fish, and a cat. "This is origami," she said. "Origami is the art of folding paper. In Japan, I learned to fold paper into so many animal shapes, I can teach you too." Soon the flower friends were busy making their own origami animals. In no time at all, the daisy flower garden was filled with animals in all colors of the rainbow. Awesome. Did I forget to show you guys the last picture? Keep forgetting. That was the last one. And then here's the one from the last page. The origami animals. All right, so that's the last story in that for that one. But I'm going to actually read you two more extras. A Bird in Space. Constantine Brancusi was an artist who worked in Paris, a city famous for art. Constantine liked to make sculptures in the shapes of birds. In his sculptures, you might not see the bird's head or wings or tail, but you can feel the birds soaring.
It's 11 o'clock.
Imagine that you are one of Constantine's birds. Stretch your wings, soar, and glide. Do you think Constantine's art tells the story of a gentle bird, a happy bird, a busy bird, a quiet bird, a courageous bird? There's not much of a picture here, but just some interesting little extra stories. All right, turning paper into art. In Japan, folding squares of paper into shapes like flowers, birds, cats, horses, and roosters is an art. It's called origami. Florence Temko was an expert in the art of origami. She thought up new origami shapes, and she traveled far and wide to share her love of origami. Some of her favorite origami shapes were holiday decorations, kites, stars, and candles. Florence wrote books about origami. She showed her creations on television, too. All over the world, Florence made friends through her love of origami. She taught origami to many Girl Scouts, and those Girl Scouts shared their origami with girls all around the world. Should we make some origami? I hear my kiddos in the background. All right, so next time, at the next meeting then, we will have, again, a lot of different activities to talk about the stories, and I'll see you then. Bye.